I can't get enough of you. Subscribe, like, and share. Good morning, Director. Have you packed all your things? Go back down to the mobile services team. So-eun blinked, confused by Tae-joon's words. They're short-staffed. They said they'd be struggling more if you were gone. So, go back. Tae-joon continued speaking. So-eun's face flushed with color. Although she felt like she was being played by the capricious Director Kim Tae-joon, she was relieved to some extent. It was better to return to her original work than to be the sole leader and member of a newly established team. The hassle of carrying her belongings back to the mobile services team was nothing. Internally repeating, "Thank goodness, thank goodness," she tried to hide her rising smile. When do you usually finish work? At 8 o'clock. Then we'll meet after hours. But of course, Kim Tae-joon wasn't going to let her off that easily. Her shoulders stiffened as she lifted her belongings again. The future services team will be converted into a task force. Chief So-eun, continue to work hard on your original duties and lead the task force well. The color drained from So-eun's face as Tae-joon's relentless instructions continued. The task force ends work at 9 p.m. Even if something comes up for me, I'll stop by at least once. So wait until 10. Yes, I understand. Though she felt despondent, there was nothing she could say but comply. Even if something comes up and I can't return, stay until then. Yes, I understand. There might be special instructions occasionally. Come up immediately when I call. I'll take care of the overtime pay for the task force separately. Yes, I understand. Thank you. She wondered if she should be grateful for getting overtime pay. Uncertain about the work she'd be doing, So-eun just replied that she understood. Then go ahead. Carrying her belongings again, So-eun bowed. As So-eun left hastily, Tae-joon's lips twisted. Yeah, sure, you understand everything. What do you understand, you fool? Chief Secretary Song Moon-kyung blinked, not fully catching Tae-joon's muttered words. Seeing the disappearance of the polished impression Tae-joon had given during the morning greeting, Moon-kyung thought it was strange. Wow, Chief. As So-eun returned, her junior colleague Bobae shouted, "Are you back for good?" "Yes, for now." Director Kim Tae-joon was here earlier. Chief Jang Eun-pyo appealed to him about our team's lack of staff. Chief Jang did. Surprised by Bobae's news, So-eun asked again. Eun-pyo Jang was a quiet man, probably the quietest man in the team, or perhaps even in the whole department. So-eun had never seen him talk about anything personal, just work. Of course, she wasn't personally close to him either. She felt awkward not having exchanged any words with him, but now she realized he was a good person. Looking at Eun-pyo's desk, their eyes met. So-eun smiled politely and bowed her head. And Eun-pyo, a bit surprised, also bowed back. Meanwhile, Bobae lowered her voice as if whispering, "I overheard that the director didn't take you as a punishment, but for a special project?" "Really? I didn't hear that." Anyway, Director Kim Tae-joon seems really kind-hearted. He listens to the staff and speaks so gently. Is that so? I didn't feel that at all. So, what happens to this special project now? They're turning it into a task force. Oh, does that mean you'll get promoted if the project succeeds? Well, So-eun couldn't say much as she hadn't been told what the project was about or what they were supposed to do. Anyway, I envy you, Chief. Getting to work on a good project and making an impression on the director. It must be interesting and enviable to talk to him often. Don't you just love his gentle and charming way of speaking? Director Kim Tae-joon? Gentle? Yes, he's very gentle. He's so kind to the employees. And honestly, about the fire incident last week. I loudly mentioned to the director when he was passing by how hard you seemed to be having it. And honestly, The fire was just bad luck, not your fault. I think he might have heard that. Maybe that's why he's being considerate. Considerate? Well, I don't know. So-eun didn't think Tae-joon was kind, perhaps because she was scared of him. Still, she recalled the time he gave her the eel rice bowl. When they met while she was drunk, though her memory was fuzzy, his tone seemed quite soft. But still, now he's very scary. Maybe because I've made a lot of mistakes? If I do well from now on, will he be gentle to me too? So-eun resolved not to get on Director Kim Tae-joon's bad side anymore. But still, gentle, my foot. After finishing her regular work, So-eun went straight up to the 7th floor. Director Kim Tae-joon, who said he would stop by at least once by 10 p.m., didn't contact her. Still, So-eun diligently waited until 10 p.m., left a note, and went home. The next day, Tae-joon didn't show up either. So-eun had no chance to run into him. Still stationed at the empty Future Services team office, she silently blamed Tae-joon. Doing nothing and sitting still made her think a lot about her boyfriend. Hyuk had also not contacted her since Saturday. She was ready to forgive him if he just said he was sorry, but his silence made her more anxious. It was a day with a meeting at headquarters. Preparing to introduce himself to the executives, Tae-joon had a lot to get ready. After preparing the presentation materials early in the morning, he left an hour before the meeting. "I'm off. Feel free to leave if it gets late." He was about to leave after informing Chief Song Moon-kyung, who checked the time and hurriedly stopped him. "Director, have a meal before you go. It'll be tough to keep up during the meeting. Or please eat it in the car." She handed him the sandwich, looking worried, and Tae-joon paused. "There should be 10 minutes to spare. I'll eat here. Join me, Chief Song." Tae-joon and Moon-kyung ended up eating together in his office. When Tae-joon was younger, he sometimes ate with his Aunt Sukwa and Chief Song Moon-kyung. Since then, Moon-kyung had felt like an older sister to him, though he didn't have a sister. Moon-kyung also didn't see Tae-joon nearly as a boss. But it was true that the clear distinction in their positions now created some distance. Quietly eating, Moon-kyung cautiously brought up So-eun. "Chief Han-seon has been working until 9 every night." "Yes, she must have. She says she's waiting for you." "Yes, I told her to. She says she's waiting every day without eating." With no reaction from Tae-joon, Moon-kyung repeated herself, thinking he hadn't heard. "She hasn't been eating." Tae-joon nonchalantly responded to the repeated statement. Moon-kyung was a bit surprised by his unexpectedly cold tone. "Just leave her." "Like that? It seems fine to leave it that way." After deciding to look into Yong Hee-wook and visiting the hospital where his mother was admitted, Tae-joon had seen So-eun and Hee-wook arguing in front of the hospital over the weekend. Seeing that, he realized that Han So-eun was a frustratingly foolish woman. Since then, he had been in a foul mood. He no longer wanted to be nice to Han So-eun. He thought it was fine to just leave her as she was. Feeling that his insincere response had made Moon-kyung uncomfortable, Tae-joon changed the subject with a trivial story. "When I was young, there was a puppy that used to follow me around." As Tae-joon brought up an old story, Moon-kyung perked up, forgetting the momentary discomfort. "The puppy was always trailing behind me, so even though it was annoying, I took care of it. Then one day, it suddenly disappeared. Recently, I found out it was living at some thief's house. Even though it had become a miserable wretch, it still followed that thief around just like it used to follow me. I thought, what a fool. Did the thief steal the dog? Probably. Then you should ask for it back. But do you think they will return it? Especially if it was taken when it was young. Still, I should try to get it back." "How did you recognize the puppy you lost when it was young?" "It must be an old dog now." "It's still a puppy to me." While Moon Kyung wore a puzzled expression, Tae-joon stood up. Thank you for the meal. I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck with your presentation. Tae-joon was known as a well-mannered young man. But now, Kim Tae-joon's carefully maintained balance and pretense were being shaken. He was strong against the strong and could be generous to the weak, but not with So-eun. She looked weak, yet he didn't want to be generous with her. He detested the false happiness she displayed, pretending to be the most loved woman in the world. She hadn't even managed to go on a trip during her 1-month unpaid leave and ended up nursing her future mother-in-law. Yet she bragged about her boyfriend as if she was in a fairy tale. She was treated like a maid by her boyfriend's family, acting foolishly. A few days ago, in front of the convenience store, she cried out, wanting to be loved like a baby bird. That secret was all there was to it. At 8 p.m., So-eun went up to the 7th floor to do another meaningless overtime shift. After a few days of seeing her, Chief Song Moon Kyung had become quite friendly. It seemed that Director Kim Tae-joon was absent again, and Moon Kyung was about to leave for the day. Hello, Chief. Miss So-eun, you're here? Director Kim is at the group headquarters today and probably won't be back. Why don't you just go home? Do you think that's okay? Just go. I'll explain tomorrow. So-eun hesitated for a moment, but then decided she couldn't leave without permission. She wasn't in a position to get permission anyway. No, I'll just stay. You sure? It's too bad. That's good. Then take care. Yes, goodbye. After greeting Moon Kyung, So-eun went into the office. Having spent 2 days alone in the empty office, So-eun had made up her mind. From 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., it was too long a time to waste waiting for a director who never showed up. She decided to study English. So-eun resolved to score perfectly on the TOEIC and find a new job. She didn't know where she would go yet, but she was determined. So-eun took out the snacks and English workbook she had brought. I'll have to keep studying English. That way I'm going to get a perfect score on the job's aptitude test, then I'll change jobs. Tae-joon's presentation was fairly successful. Many good suggestions came out of the executive meeting, and some of them seemed promising for Tae-joon. It was an opportunity to leave a strong first impression on everyone. After the meeting, Tae-joon reunited with Chairman Kim Jae-pil after a long time. Hey, kid. If you haven't seen your grandfather in a while, you should give him a hug. When he entered the chairman's office, Jae-pil greeted Tae-joon with open arms. Feeling awkward, but complying with his grandfather's request, Tae-joon obliged. I'm here, grandfather. Good, well done. Even though he was the chairman's grandson, Kim Jae-pil was not someone easily met. The day Tae-joon returned to Korea, Jae-pil left for a European business trip. It's hard to see my grandson's face these days. That's because you're busy, grandfather. How's work? It's only been a few days. You'll do well. Jae-pil's laugh had a faint wheeze. Tae-joon realized his grandfather had changed significantly over the years. It seemed Jae-pil also worried about his grandson, as his gentle gaze carried a hint of concern. Make sure you don't give anyone a reason to criticize you. Yes, I will. I don't plan to call you in for a while. Focus on meeting people. Work on scouting overseas talent, as you mentioned in your PT. Can you do that? Of course, if anything urgent comes up, contact me. Yes, Chairman. After receiving advice and encouragement and being patted on the shoulder, Jae-pil moved on to his next appointment. Tae-joon left his office and headed down to the first floor. Hey, nephew. Despite the crowded lobby filled with executives coming and going, Kim Sang-duk, the head of K Electronics Mobile Division and Tae-joon's uncle, recognized him first. Tae-joon bowed respectfully. Hello, sir. Let's not be formal between us. Sang-duk's hearty laugh drew attention, but neither he nor Tae-joon paid it any mind, maintaining their composure. You look well. You're starting to look more like your father. Was it at 40 that he passed? The man who took over his father's business after his death. Tae-joon had no particular feelings toward him, but if he spoke ill of his father, things would change. Tae-joon's smile vanished instantly. Noticing this subtle change, Sang-duk's tone became slightly more respectful. Now that you're with the group, let's do well together. I've asked President Aung Gapsu to take good care of you. He'll be looking out for you. There's no need for that, but I appreciate the thought. How can I not look out for my precious nephew? There's a big difference between theory and practice. I have plenty of Ivy League graduates under me, and they still don't measure up. But I'm sure you'll do well. Just make sure you live up to your grandfather's name. See you around. Goodbye, sir. After leaving a mix of encouragement and strange remarks, Sang-duk departed, and the empty space was filled by Tae-joon's aunt, Kim Seok-hwa. He's never grown up, even at his age. Seok-hwa, standing next to Tae-joon, casually referred to her cousin, who was about 6 years older. She must have overheard some of the conversation, given how loudly Sang-duk spoke. Seok-hwa's expression amused Tae-joon. Don't pay attention to what Sang-duk says. Honestly, his success is mostly due to luck. It was your father who laid the foundation for the mobile business. If he crosses the line, let me know. I'll take care of it. What will you do? I'll pull off his wig in public. Uffed. Tae-joon's laughter finally broke free, easing Seok-hwa's expression. Seok-hwa then inquired about her former subordinate, Song Moon-kyung. How is working with Section Chief Song? Good, thankfully. Thank you for your support. You know she's smart and capable. She'll be a solid ally for you. It's getting late. Shall we have dinner? Do you have time? I have plans. I'll visit next time. Tae-joon gently declined his aunt's offer with a faint smile. 8:50 p.m. Tae-joon walked down the dim hallway and entered the Future Services team office. He didn't want to, but he couldn't ignore Song Moon-kyung's concerns. Moon-kyung, placed as his assistant by his aunt, had started worrying about Han So-eun. If Moon-kyung casually mentioned Han So-eun in a call with his aunt, it might spark unwanted attention. Tae-joon wanted to avoid that hassle. Despite the door opening, Han So-eun remained motionless. Seeing her peacefully asleep on the desk, Tae-joon was astonished. Receiving special allowances like this. Considering waking her to send her home, Tae-joon sat across from her instead. Planning to change jobs by studying English? The TOEIC workbook beneath her face looked pitiful. She had fallen asleep after only a few pages. He propped his chin on his hand and watched her for a while. Light from the lamp softly cascaded down her pale neck. He felt an urge to release a deep breath before her. Between her closed eyelids, her long eyelashes were visible. She was less annoying like this, compared to when she was awake and talking. After a while, her phone buzzed. The vibration didn't wake her. The phone screen lit up with a message. Inevitably, Tae-joon glanced at it. Are you not going to see me? The message was from Appa Heartsuit. It wasn't hard to guess who it was from. Tae-joon took her phone. Holding it up to the light, he saw the pattern for the lock screen. Tae-joon drew an L and unlocked the phone. I can't believe it. So careless. He was angry at her lack of attention to security. Tae-joon pressed the delete button for the message without a hint of guilt. How can someone be so sloppy? This is an insult to all employees of companies. Aren't you an engineer, Han So-eun? Do you think the world is that nice? Do you? Some thing like this would shame K Group. Ugh, how frustrating. Why am I so angry about it? This is all your fault. So-eun opened her eyes faintly. What time is it? Upon checking the time on her phone, She was shocked and leaped to her feet. Oh no! She was even more startled when she saw Tae-joon sitting right in front of her, playing a game on his phone. Without caring about her surprise, Tae-joon glanced at her and then continued his game. I waited until you woke up. It's already past 11. So-eun felt an urge to apologize, but instead, a surge of defiance welled up inside her. Didn't you make me wait too? She couldn't raise her voice, though. Tae-joon heard her quiet words anyway. Do you think your time is as valuable as mine? How valuable can your time be if you're just playing a game on your phone? We both have 24 hours in a day, don't we? Tae-joon turned off his game. His piercing gaze made Seun shrink back a little. Perhaps she had spoken too boldly. I thought you were just a fool, but you do have some spunk. Contrary to her worries, Tae-joon seemed amused. Well, you can argue, but you can't take care of yourself. Does your boyfriend have something on you? His light sarcasm made Seun's face turn bright red. The encounter at the hospital had indeed become her weak point. He probably thought she was lacking for enduring such treatment from her prospective in-laws. But I have my reasons too. She wanted to explain, but no words came out. As she bit her lower lip in frustration, Tae-joon stood up. Get up. I'll give you a ride. It's okay. I'll take a taxi. Get in the car when I offer you a ride. I won't make you get out midway. She remembered being kicked out of his car before. So many things had happened since then that she had almost forgotten. After Tae-joon left, So-eun reluctantly gathered her things and followed him. Tae-joon walked at a leisurely pace, as if waiting for her. Did you have dinner? Yes, I ate in the office. I haven't eaten yet. What do I care? Now that I think about it, he does look a bit thinner. He should have dinner. Seeing him like this bothers me. Oh, right. I have a sandwich. She grumbled internally, but couldn't ignore his hunger. She fumbled in her bag for the sandwich she had bought. She had splurged a bit, buying 2 sandwiches, but ended up eating only one. Wait, what if he? Did you think I would eat something like that? Why don't you give it to your boyfriend? If I give him this, he'll probably scold me. Feeling conflicted, she put the sandwich back. Tae-joon noticed her slowing pace and approached. What are you doing? Is this for me? Seeing him peeking into her bag, Seun felt embarrassed, as if he had read her mind. A sandwich? Were you going to give it to me? I don't usually eat things like that. Oh, okay. She tried to zip her bag, but Tae-joon's hand stopped her. His large hand reached into her bag and grabbed the sandwich before she could react. Seun felt unfairly treated. Watching Tae-joon walk away with the sandwich, she mentally protested. It's just a sandwich. I didn't put any special meaning into it. She couldn't understand why people thought he was kind. The car sped through the night, and they reached her home much faster than she expected. Tae-joon really did drive her all the way home. It's close from here. You can drop me off here. I'll take you to your door. Is that uncomfortable? No, thank you. It was extremely uncomfortable, but she decided it was better to comply. It was dark near her house, and having someone drive her to her door was actually helpful. Tae-joon's car entered the alley and stopped in front of her house. This is my place. It's quite dark around here. Yes, it's always like that. Tae-joon examined the building through the window, his expression seeming to question how anyone could live in such a place. Acknowledging the darkness of her home front, Seun felt a bit defensive when he pointed it out. It's this dark because of you making me come home late. Seun's bag buzzed with a vibration. Huh? She took out her phone, and in the dark car, the name Appa Heartsuit lit up brightly on the screen. It was a call from Hyuk. Hesitating, she put the phone back into her bag. Not going to answer? I'll answer it when I get home. She had been waiting for this call. Though she didn't know the exact reason since he hadn't sent a text first, she hoped Hyuk was trying to make amends. Her heart raced, eager to get home and return the call. "Looks like you're ready to make up with your boyfriend." Getting a call from her boyfriend boosted her spirits. She felt a vague courage to speak up against this rude director. "I haven't been able to because of the daily overtime. I couldn't find the time to make up." "Isn't that just an excuse? You can always make time if you want." "So, your boyfriend hasn't even apologized yet?" But as Seun tried to snap back, he countered sharply. Tae-joon was far better at confrontation than So-eun. Her lips tightened with frustration. "He hasn't come to see you in person, and now he's trying to settle it with a phone call. He's busy too. Too busy to find time to make up? Maybe he doesn't really want to make up." He finally called, so shouldn't I at least answer? Is he really that great? "No, that's not it." "Then you should break up." "What?" Before she could even defend her boyfriend, Tae-joon abruptly suggested breaking up. His bluntness was infuriating. "He's not some amazing guy, so why are you even with him?" But Tae-joon didn't seem to realize he had crossed a line. His assertive tone made her extremely uncomfortable. So-eun retorted, "Relationships aren't about being with amazing people. It's about being with someone who suits you." "So, does he suit you?" Tae-joon clearly mocked the hospital incident. His slight smirk made it clear he was belittling her life choices. "Why does it look like he doesn't suit you at all to me?" "No, we suit each other well." Seun finally spoke up. "It seems you misunderstood from the hospital situation. My boyfriend and I are really well matched. Like family. We've shared a lot of time together." Tae-joon listened with apparent interest and nodded quietly, his smirk growing. "Like family, so you take care of his mother yourself. Took a month off for that." Seun's lips opened and closed. Every one of his pointed remarks stabbed her heart. It hurt because it was true. Although the month-long leave was for her surgery and recovery, it ended up being spent taking care of her prospective mother-in-law since they were in the same hospital. Holding back tears, Seun responded calmly, "Director, your words are very uncomfortable. You may not like me, but still." "Dislike you? I actually like people like you a lot." Before she could finish, Tae-joon interrupted smoothly. "People without pride. People who do whatever they're told. I really like that. I wish you'd understand my feelings." Seun's face turned red with anger. She felt as if her life was being mocked. Tae-joon seemed like a man who found joy in her misery. She was on the verge of tears but didn't want to show any emotion in front of him. "Thank you for the ride." She quickly opened the car door and rushed into her house. Seun climbed the stairs rapidly, almost gasping for breath. Perhaps it was her body's reaction to the overwhelming sense of humiliation she had just faced. Thinking about the call with Hyuk that she had been looking forward to, her heart felt completely trampled. Tae-joon's insults pushed all thoughts of her boyfriend out of her mind. "Don't let these careless words break you. Tae-joon, I asked for it, but that was just a thought, and you wouldn't have heard it. Why interfere in my life?" He was a man she could never like. Her anger toward Tae-joon fueled her determination. "I need to keep my head straight. I won't live as someone who brings joy to those who wish for my unhappiness." After calming down, Seun wiped away the tears that had formed in her eyes and steadied herself. "I must carve out my own destiny." Seun got up and called Hyuk. It was almost midnight. "The dealer cannot be reached at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone." She couldn't connect with Hyuk. Ugh. I should have just answered the call instead of arguing with someone like Tae-joon. Now my mood is ruined, and I missed my chance. Seun considered calling again but gave up and lay down on her bed. The kind of person I really like. Someone without pride. Someone who does whatever they're told. Tae-joon's cruel words echoed in her mind. She felt like she would be haunted by them all night.